Good morning, everybody. I'm State Senator Jake Ashby. I want to thank everyone for coming out today. I want to thank my colleagues in local government, Sheriff Apple, Mark Egan, Kevin Law, Colony Center for hosting this press conference this morning. And this is a unified, bipartisan message. And what we heard last week, or a couple weeks ago from the governor, was that the chaos must end. That's what she said about retail crime during her State of the State address. And on that much, we can agree. It is chaos, and people in our communities are feeling it every day. It's raising prices, scaring customers, and threatening jobs and livelihoods. But while the governor has floated some proposals, they're not substitutes for actually fixing our laws and repairing our criminal justice system. I'm here this morning with a simple message. In the state legislature, we don't need to wait for the budget to act. In fact, it doesn't cost a dime to fix these laws. I sponsor a bipartisan bill with Assemblyman Santa Barbara to increase criminal penalties on repeat offenders. It's about establishing real deterrence. Under my bill, petty larceny charges would be upgraded to fourth-degree grand larceny after 2 convictions within 3 months, or 3 convictions within a year. Again, repeat offenders, not a teenager who makes one stupid mistake. Instead of a slap on the wrist, they'd be looking at real jail time. That's just part of the solution. Criminal penalties don't mean much if an offender is released after their arraignment and has no incentive to show up for court. Time after time, they're just stealing again. That's why I also sponsor a bill to fix bail reform that will allow judges to remand individuals who reoffend over and over again. And on the governor's proposals, those are things we can try. But again, they're not substitutions for fixing the law. I'm not against tax credits for businesses to upgrade their own security. And I'm certainly not against providing more resources for the state police. But we have to be realistic. Adding a security camera isn't going to do much if the perpetrator is released immediately after the arraignment and knows they aren't facing any jail time. And in their testimony during the public protection hearing, state police said staffing issues would complicate their ability to execute a retail theft task force. This shouldn't be a partisan issue. I'm all for the investments in education, mental health, and addiction treatment that in the long term will make our communities safer. But what about right now? We need to fix these laws and keep the social fabric of our communities from coming apart. And I'm not alone in this. You know, the individuals that are surrounding me, they come from varied backgrounds. Whether it's commerce, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's public service and other capacities, we all have livelihoods that reinforce our pursuit. And so now I'd like to turn it over to Mark Egan, CEO of the Capital Region Chamber.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator. I really appreciate you putting a spotlight on such a critical issue. If you think just back a few years ago, we never would have thought that we would be in a store and see people actually carrying out loads of merchandise and actually have employees at that store just watch them do that. You look at the issue of safety, you look at issues of law and order, you look at those of us who are local residents and customers. We're paying for that theft. So our costs are going up because of it. And as the Senator pointed out, a lot of it is tied to law enforcement. You know, we have our sheriff here, and he's been working hard on this issue, but he can't do it alone. How do we as a state deal with this in a different way? And at the same time, we have to address its a variety of factors. Yes, you have some people who maybe, don't have a lot of resources, and they think they can't buy something and they take something. Oftentimes, those are people that maybe do have mental health issues. That needs to be dealt with. The biggest component of it, and the sheriff might touch on this, is really what I would call organized crime. Just a new form of it. How they're stealing and then how they're selling out on public markets. It has to be dealt with. And to the senator's point, a lot of this can happen outside of our state budget. And there's other issues that can be put in with the state budget. So really encourage all of those in our state capital to address this in an urgent fashion, because it really is having an impact on our neighborhoods, where we, recently had one of our, locally based convenience stores close because of the issue of theft, because the issue of safety of their employees, and because the issue of lack of profitability because of the theft. Now is the time to address these issues. Today we're in one of our main retail centers in the capital region, here at Colony Center. And the environment that they want, what's been happening in the last couple of years, doesn't contribute to that and to the profitability of the tenants here. And we're pleased to be joined by the general manager of the mall. Pleased to invite up Jeff Law.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Law. Welcome. Thank you, Senator Ashby, Mark Egan, and others for being here this morning. We really appreciate your time. Colony Center is an ideal place for families to spend their day together, enjoying a welcome environment for shopping, dining, and entertainment. We host family and community events that help provide more than just a retail atmosphere for our patrons. But when individuals engage in criminal activities that jeopardize the safety of our retailers and guests, it poses a challenge to uphold the environment that we strive to maintain. We emphasize and recognize the importance of enhancing penalties for individuals involved in illegal theft from retailers as a proactive measure to deter those activities. Also, it's just as important for anyone who witnesses a crime to contact the proper authorities. Colony Center remains committed to fostering a welcome environment for everyone while actively providing security measures. In addition, we urge shoppers and retailers to contribute by staying vigilant and reporting any concerns promptly. Active involvement from everyone strengthens our shared commitment to a secure community. Colony Center is a family center, and we want to keep it that way for years to come. And now I'd like to introduce Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple.
So good morning. Thank you for bringing this to the media again. To me, it's just like Groundhog's Day. This is the third press conference regarding retail theft, and to me, this is the low-hanging fruit that the state should pick up and change immediately. It's like everything has been thrown into flux, and we're upside down and backwards here. People are afraid to come out of their houses and go to malls. People are afraid to go shopping. That's sad, right? I mean, unfortunately, one of the hardest hit stores in the Capital District is right here in this building. It's one of the anchor stores. And unfortunately, one of the people that was arrested 22 times in 2023 now has 7 warrants for his arrest out there. 7. Arrested 22 times. Something is fundamentally wrong with that, and I don't understand why it's so hard to fix this. This is the easy stuff. And you know what? When you have retail theft, and I think it is organized. I don't think it's organized crime as what we're all used to seeing and hearing in the movies, but it is organized. And it's no different than a lot of the panhandlers that are out there. They are organized, and they all work in sync. So we need to get out there. We need to stop this. We need to make sure people know that, listen, our communities are safe. You can go out there. And I say safe because it's not just a matter of stealing it. It's a matter of people trying to stop them are getting injured. People are, they're seeing it. They're frustrated. And we don't want people to take the law into their own hands. We want to do it. So I need the state, I need the Senate, I need the governor, I need the assembly. We need to get out there and change some of these laws. And I know everybody's sick of hearing about bail reform and everything else, but this goes hand in glove with it. Our communities are upset. And regardless, I don't sit there and look at numbers of, and everybody says, well, crime is down, this is down, that. Tell that to the young person whose daughter was just beaten so somebody could run out of a Home Depot with a drill or something to that effect. Because it's happening every day. It's happening right here in the Capital District. And most people say, oh, it doesn't happen here. It does happen here. It's just that a lot of it goes unreported, or it's reported, but it just gets thrown into the same can of worms that everything else is in surrounding bail reform. So I'm urging everybody in our legislature, our governor, please, let's change and modify some of the laws. We've got some bipartisan support. It's not about politics. It's about keeping people safe. It's about letting businesses stay open past 6 p.m. because they're afraid to stay open later as of what will happen at 7. And 7's a key time on the weekends. Some of our highest theft happens at 7 o'clock. Certain days of the week, highest theft. And that's when those stores are closing, and that's pretty sad. I mean, it's unfortunate that you can't keep your business open because of theft. So, thank you, Senator. I appreciate everybody coming out for it. We're going to continue to work. We've had investigators in this mall yesterday. We had investigators at the end of Wolf Road yesterday. We have a detail that keeps going throughout the county and hitting some key spots on key days to try and do our best. But we're just one department in one small county in a big state. So these laws need to be changed. We need to do better at this. We need to protect our business owners. And let's not forget, when somebody steals $1,000 from a small business, what do they got to do? Either go out of business or raise their prices. So we're getting hit double. So I think we need to do better. Mark, I know you've been a champion for this, so I appreciate it. And Jeff, we're doing all we can. We just need some help. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Paul Bergdorf, County Legislator from Colony.
Thank you, Craig. I'm not going to go into the need for bail reform or Jake's individual theft proposals, because I think there are people who have eloquently explained them and why we need them. What I'd like to try to focus on is what does this mean to our neighbors at home? Why should they care? Well, they should care because they see across the country the epidemic of smash and grabs. They see stores with the simplest items, toothpaste and deodorant, behind locked doors, and they see many, many merchants deciding that they can no longer make it in that atmosphere and go out of business. So I think these measures really protect the homeowner, taxpayer, renter in Albany County and across the state. If we can make these proposals reality, products will cost less because we won't have as many billions of dollars stolen from retail merchants that have to be made up by taxpayers, and we won't have as many vacant stores that you used to go to at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night when you needed deodorant. And now you've got to order from Amazon, and maybe it'll get here in a day or two. You've got to be free to use your local vendors with the convenience that you've enjoyed your entire life. And if we don't make some of these sensible bail reforms and theft reforms, we're going to lose local stores, and billions of dollars are going to be passed on to the consumer. And for that, Jake, I thank you for your efforts and that of your colleagues, and I hope it's something that you can put into place before the budget is done. Thank you very much. I'd like to call up Jeff Madden, town board member from the town of Colony.
You need only look at the Colony Spotlight and their weekly police blotter. I highlighted just the people that are out on warrants that are multiple offenders. Each week, they continue to commit crimes over and over with no threat of a penalty. I was talking to a former judge just yesterday, and he said when he was on the bench, he used to be able to slow these people down, get them help. But there is no more of that. Now it's right back out in the street. They haven't even sobered up yet, and they're stealing again. A lot of these people, it's a cry out for help, and we're not helping them. What we've done is we've moved to a system where no one gets help. They keep repeat offending, and it's time it has to stop. And Jake, this is a good start. I think, it can even go further than this. 3 crimes before they even, how are they going to get prosecuted? They don't even go to court now. So I don't know how we can get convictions if they don't go to court. They don't show up. So I think we just need to keep moving in the right direction, and this is a good start. And thanks for being here. And that's why I'm going to run for Assembly on the 110th District. Jeff Madden, thank you. Jake, they want you to do a question and answer session here now.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Again, I want to thank Jeff at Colony Center. I want to thank Mark Egan, Capital Region Chamber, Sheriff Apple, all the men and women who serve our community in law enforcement, who are up against this each and every day. We are so appreciative of their efforts and their sacrifices for us, and to my colleagues in local government for being here. Are there any questions? No. Nope. Same bill. Same need for it. Well, I think once the deterrent is established and the judicial discretion is there, that will help curb it. Because then the person won't be able to, upon release, they won't be able to go out there and commit another crime. And, we all say, lead by example, right? What kind of example is that setting? When people see that day in and day out, people become conditioned to it. We're not. We're not. We are refusing to be conditioned by that, and that's why we're putting this legislation forward. Well, it's my understanding that the governor wants to dedicate $40 million to a task force. That's all I know. Other than earlier last week during the public protection hearing, state police said they would have a hard time filling out this task force with the current staffing needs and the resources that they don't have. And we've heard this before with other task forces and other ideas that she's thrown out there. We can't afford to just keep doing this. There is a way to fix this, and it's not throwing money at it. It's not generating another task force. It's fixing the law.